Welcome to The Disappearing Mind, a unique podcast helping you find clarity and support along your dementia journey. Now, join National Dementia Trainer and Coach Dawn Platt for an all-new episode.
Hi, this is Dawn Platt, your host on The Disappearing Mind. Welcome to this week's segment. We are continuing in our series about dementia caregiving and family conflict. Today, our podcast series is going to be about special events and family gatherings that can turn into heartache. Family gatherings or special events have a way of magnifying everything: joy, memories, and nostalgia. For many families living with dementia, this can become a time of grief or even a time of being disgruntled. What used to bring comfort may now seem chaotic. What used to feel familiar now can feel fragile. Today in the series, we're going to dig into a different side of family conflict, really about different children's perceptions or what they want out of special events and family gatherings that may or may not be the same. And they may be different than they used to be for this person because now we're on the dementia caregiving journey. For families like the Thompsons, this year didn't just crack open old wounds. It exposed something much deeper: the desperate wish for a normal time that was anything but. Let me set you up. Family gatherings and special events are meant to bring families together. But when dementia enters the picture, it can crack open old wounds wide. In today's story, in the series today, we're going to talk about heartaches that come from family gatherings or special events that perhaps you have done as a family for 30 or 40 years. We're going to explore what happens when tradition and transition collide. The Thompsons have several children, brothers and sisters, caring for a mom who's now 81 with moderate dementia. Emily, the oldest sister, is the fixer. She hosts every holiday and does it perfectly, has done that for years. Everyone in the family knows we're going to Emily's for every family gathering or special event. Then there's Jake. Jake is the middle brother, always critical, rarely helpful. Jake just goes along with most things, but he complains about a lot. Laura is the youngest child who avoids conflicts and cries easily. It's the first family gathering since Mom was diagnosed with vascular dementia. Planning chaos. Emily plans the usual elaborate dinner at her home. She wants all the trimmings. She wants to make all of Mom's favorite recipes. She has gone all out, and she will have it no other way than everyone in the family attend, just as we have always done. Jake, on the other hand, says it's pointless to bring Mom. She won't remember it. That creates some chaos. And Laura, she just wants to do something smaller and quieter. She just wants all of this to really go away. They're texting back and forth as a family, and arguments begin to erupt in the group text. We all know that texting really isn't a great way of communicating, especially if emotions are involved. But Emily gets defensive, as she always does. And it's not about what she remembers. It's about us. Emily wants to maintain what was before Mom was diagnosed with this horrible diagnosis. The day of the family gathering, Emily goes through the dinner, but Mom is overwhelmed. Too much noise, too many people. Mom actually has an outburst where she accuses Jake of stealing her shoes. The table falls silent. Laura tears up and Jake storms out. Emily sits in the kitchen, ashamed and exhausted. What has gone wrong? We need to know and understand that when someone is diagnosed with dementia, we need to be mindful family gatherings may be just like they always were. And your loved one may have the type of dementia that change doesn't affect them, or too many people doesn't affect them, or even gathering together in a fairly large gathering doesn't affect them. But many times, this change in familiarity, this trying to gather, having too much on your plate can be overwhelming to the person with dementia. And they may not always be able to react the way that you think that they should. And that's because they're processing everything that's going on in their world. What happens after this? Well, it obviously was not a great gathering. It didn't go the way Emily wanted it to go. But later that night, the siblings regroup over tea. They actually sit down and they actually agree that the old way doesn't work anymore. They made a pact for the next family gathering that they would do something simple, calm, and focused just on mom and her comfort. Even if it meant that we have 2 events, one for the family and one small gathering for mom. Maybe a picnic with familiar songs and finger foods was suggested. I think that this is a positive conversation to have in families. I know that we love tradition, but tradition, even in itself, can create chaos. There are times, and there may be days and weeks where it's not going to be an issue, but you never know in and around large gatherings or even around the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, or even Easter. There can be just a change where this is not the best thing for your loved one. Grieving tradition is part of that dementia journey. I grieved it. I think everyone that I know that has walked the dementia path grieves tradition. I mean, after all, that's what our memories are built on. But when families pivot from perfection to presence, they can open the door to new memories, small, quiet ones that matter just as much. They may not matter now, but they will matter in the future. Old traditions meet dementia realities, and traditions don't always fit in the season anymore when dementia has come into the situation. These are things that we need to talk about, we need to think about, and realize that our loved one is not processing tradition like they used to. There may be certain things they hold on to, but the whole way everything was done may have totally disappeared from their mindset. The truth is that many families struggle to say out loud, not all traditions survive dementia. I can tell you as a coach and from personal experience, many of our traditions did not survive mom's dementia once we were 3 and 4 years into it. We just had to make adjustments, and that's okay. It's okay to consider that. Letting go of the big bustling holidays and the big bustling events may feel like you're letting go of the person, but what you're really doing is adapting for who they are now. And that's the important thing to remember. Emily tried to hold everything together. She thought that if she made everything the same, her mom might feel the same. But dementia doesn't play by old holiday rules. It demands flexibility, softness, and more presence than perfection. Let's take a moment and pause and ask ourselves just a few questions in and around this. I know that this is something that I did have to process for myself and still do. And my mom has been gone over a year now. I still process that as we're going through holidays now. The loss of something that had been part of our lives, part of her life, represented who she was in the family. But let's just really talk for a moment as families and ask ourselves, are our family gatherings and holidays based on what used to be or what is realistic now? If you plan an event that is overwhelming, or even at a busy restaurant, we took Mom to a very busy, popular restaurant for her birthday. And I don't know why I didn't think about it until we got in there. And it was loud. The music was loud. The people were loud. And Mom actually shut down. She couldn't even order off the menu. I had overlooked that, even as a professional. And I need to ask myself, is this realistic? We never went back to that particular place in our journey. And that's an important question. Are you trying to please everyone else while ignoring what your loved one can actually tolerate? It's great to do the birthday parties and the Easter and all the things we used to do, but we had huge events and it was just overwhelming for Mom. She could do an hour, maybe 2, but anything beyond that, all day was totally out. Think about that as you are coming together in family gatherings. Have you talked about shifting the holiday or family gatherings this year? Or are you just hoping it all goes smoothly? We all grow up and have our own families, and we just decided that we would do small things. We wouldn't do big things, and we would call that Mom's holiday, and she appreciated that. And it went smoother, I think, for everyone. Many family members that are coming to visit or to encounter your loved one who may not have seen them for months on end often have a difficult time navigating that. So it really is a good thought for everyone involved, especially the person with dementia. Have you talked about this? Have you had those conversations in and around family gatherings? Now is the time. And it's not about canceling. It's about reimagining what that gathering might be like. Maybe Mom comes for the coffee and dessert, and then someone takes her back to take her nap or to take her to her quiet place. I think these are the conversations that we need to have. So try instead creating some new traditions for new realities. Here's some practical, compassionate ways that you can navigate family gatherings when your loved one is well into dementia. You want to simplify your guest list. The fewer people, the less confusion. Consider smaller gatherings with only familiar faces. This will be best for your loved one. The last thing you want them to do is to try and remember who everyone is, and it creates more confusion, could be exhausting for them. Shorten the duration. Make it a 2-hour visit, not a full day. Quality over quantity. Create a sensory-friendly environment. Dim the lights. Have some soft music. Have it in a calm setting, not a loud and noisy place. This can prevent sensory overload for the person who has dementia. And honor old traditions in new ways. Instead of a big dinner, maybe it's Mom's favorite pie with holiday music she loves. Pick one piece of the whole scenario and highlight it. This will be more enjoyable for you in the end, and it will be more enjoyable for your loved one. Designate care partners for the day. Have someone or 2 people quietly assigned to stay near your loved one so that they don't get lost in the crowd and they can read when your loved one is getting overwhelmed. Make space for emotion. It's okay if someone cries. It's okay if you cancel last minute. Give grace freely. Things do not always work out. When we're talking about the dementia journey, sometimes we need to make some changes. To the family and to the host, be the peacemaker. We need to really put our wishes aside to honor the wishes and the needs of the person with dementia. If you're thinking of holding everything together, take a breath. You're not alone. You don't have to prove anything this year. Caregiving has been your main responsibility. Maybe the best family gathering memory that you can make is sitting beside your loved one, quietly holding their hand, and letting go of everything that you thought this next family event or holiday had to be. I want to say to the listeners, if you're navigating this events, this special gatherings, these family events with your loved one with dementia, consider creating new rituals, new traditions, adjusting your expectations, and making room for grace. Be flexible. You might find beauty in the change. This year, choose presence over pressure. Choose peace over production. Your loved one may not remember all the family gathering details, but they will feel your energy, your mood, and your calm. That's the gift that we need to try and give to them. Be sure and listen to all of the episodes in the Dementia Care and Family Conflict series. We talk about real stories and family conflicts that may arise when not everyone sees dementia caregiving in the same way. This is Dawn Platt. Until I see you again on the podcast, be gentle with yourself and remember that love doesn't disappear, it adapts. Make it a memorable day.
Thank you for joining us for the Disappearing Mind podcast. We hope it's helped you find clarity and support along your journey. Be sure to subscribe to never miss an episode, visit our website to suggest future topics, and share the podcast with friends and family.